Let's take a closer look at the Early Years Inspection Toolkit. Early Years providers will be inspected against 7 evaluation areas which align with the Early Years Foundation Stage Statutory Framework. The table of contents shows the evaluation areas. Each evaluation area has its own section of the toolkit that explains the evidence inspectors will gather for a specific aspect of the provider's work. The inspection toolkit is based on statutory duties and non-statutory guidance, professional standards, research and inspection evidence. Within the context of the Education Inspection Framework, leaders are staff who are responsible for making decisions about how an education provider operates. The roles may vary between providers. They include senior leaders and middle leaders, but are not governors or trustees. In a childminder setting, the childminder is the leader, and all references to leaders apply to the childminder. This first section talks about the evidence gathered at inspections. Ofsted do not expect leaders to produce written evidence to support each standard in each evaluation area. They do not require photographic evidence of what children are doing and learning in settings. They do not expect providers to prepare a presentation or any additional documentation about the setting for the context for inspection. Inspectors prioritise examining first-hand evidence during the inspection. Details of the documents that early year settings must provide and documents that inspectors may need to see during the inspection can be found on Ofsted's Early Years Inspection information page. The link is on screen. The next sections of the toolkit are for each evaluation area and include the grading standards and indicators for each grade. Let us look at an evaluation area as an example. Each evaluation area begins with what it considers, listed in bullet points, and then goes on to describe the factors that statutory requirements and non-statutory guidance, research and inspection evidence indicate contribute most strongly to that evaluation area. These are the themes inspectors will focus on gathering evidence relating to. The next page shows the considerations for different ages and provision types. Here you will find detailed what inspectors recognise for childminder settings. Moving on to the next page, and you will see listed what inspectors consider when gathering evidence about that evaluation area. The next section of the toolkit is the grading. First are the standards. Remember, the expected standard in the evaluation areas is the starting point for Ofsted's inspection activities. Inspectors will be asking, does the setting reach all the expected grading standards for this area? If so, they'll be asking, does the setting also reach all the strong grading standards? If the expected standard is not met in an evaluation area, this means that there are breaches of the EYFS requirements that need to be addressed as a priority. Indicators that the expected standards have not been met are listed in the bullet points, and one or more may apply. If the breaches of the EYFS requirements do not have significant impact on children's safety, well-being and/or learning development, and inspectors do not have concerns about the provider's suitability, the evaluation area should be graded as needs attention. The inspector must set actions for you to meet the relevant statutory requirements relating to the root cause of the breaches. If breaches to the EYFS requirements do have significant impact on children's safety, well-being and/or learning and development, and/or inspectors have concerns about the provider's suitability, the evaluation area will be graded urgent improvement. You can see the indicators listed in bullet points, and urgent improvement will be graded if any apply. If inspectors find breaches of the EYFS requirements that pose significant risk to children's safety and/or welfare, they will need to explore enforcement action. To achieve the exceptional grade, there must be clear evidence of the standards that define exceptional practice. Throughout all the evaluation areas, if this grade is awarded, leaders should use their exceptional success in this evaluation area to support improvement across all aspects of their own setting and/or group, and share their learning and best practice externally to support system-wide improvement, for example with other settings, professionals, their community and stakeholders, including local and national networks. Let's take a look at the safeguarding evaluation area. Like each of the other evaluation areas, this begins with what it considers, listed in the bullet points, and then goes on to describe the factors that statutory requirements and non-statutory guidance, research and inspection evidence indicate contribute most strongly to that evaluation area. These are the themes inspectors will focus on gathering evidence relating to. As with the other areas, the next page shows the considerations for different ages and provision types. Here you will find detailed what inspectors recognise for childminding settings. And then moving on to the next page, you'll see listed what the inspectors consider when gathering evidence about that evaluation area, like all the others. However, the grading in safeguarding is different to the other evaluation areas. The safeguarding standards have been developed from the safeguarding and welfare requirements of the EYS statutory frameworks, keeping children safe in education and working together to safeguard children. Safeguarding will be graded as met overall if the individual safeguarding standards are met and none of the not met standards apply. If safeguarding needs minor improvements, such as correcting small administrative errors in paperwork or updating policies, and if these do not have a direct impact on children's safety and/or well-being, and leaders can make these minor improvements easily before the end of the on-site inspection, inspectors will give you every chance to do so by discussing this constructively with you. Sometimes leaders cannot finish making the required minor improvements before the end of the on-site inspection. When this is the case, the inspectors can still grade safeguarding as met if they've taken the necessary steps to resolve the issues, for example where training has been booked but will not take place for a number of weeks. Importantly, the minor improvements should be such that if they were not made straight away, leaving them undone would not have an immediate or significant impact on children's safety. Safeguarding standards are likely to be not met if any of the indicators listed apply. A not met grade for safeguarding evaluation area does not automatically mean the setting will be graded urgent improvement in other evaluation areas. Inspectors will evaluate the impact of the breaches to establish the appropriate grade for the other evaluation areas. The setting will likely be re-inspected within 6 months if safeguarding is not met, but there can be enforcement activity in between if required. Head over to our dedicated resource page for more information about Ofsted's renewed approach to education inspections.